Hi, my name is Alexander Reddy. I'm an assistant archivist working for Bronx Community College alongside our head of archives, Cynthia Tobar. It is our pleasure to welcome you to A Journal of the Plague Year, an entirely digital archive of the COVID-19 pandemic where we are collecting stories from around campus and the wider borough. We hope that, through our initiative, we can document the impact COVID has had on you, our community members, and relay your stories to the rest of the world. To upload something, you don't necessarily need to be the creator. Just remember to attribute anyone involved in its creation. So let's start by visiting our submission portal at covid-19archive.org. We will link to this site and other information in the video's description. Please note also that this is the general submission page. Anything uploaded through here will be sent to the institution hosting the journal, Arizona State University. If you are a member of BCC, either staff or student, or a relative of someone at the college, then navigate to our portal found here. Now you'll see our Share Your Story page. Again, Bronx Community College members will want to upload their work through this form. What you'll also notice are several other tabs, including our Welcome page, which gives you a brief description of the project, Mapping the Archive, which shows locations users provided along with their submissions, our Collection or Gallery page, as well as our Submission Agreement and Creative Commons policy. You can view these at any time, but for now let's stick to the Share Your Story tab. Here you will find an extensive list of questions, asking you to add more detail to your document. For our purposes, document can refer to anything from a PDF to an interview to a work of art. We will get more into formats later on in this walkthrough. Adding this information is important both to provide viewers with context about the document and its intent, as well as to make it searchable within our archive. To walk you through this process, I'm just going to upload a sample image. In this case, it's a picture of my dog. You can upload anything you feel is relevant to your experience of the pandemic. Now, on to the prompts. The very first prompt is asking for you to title your submission. We want something that is specific to your work. Titles like Snow Day are not suited for this format as they may get lost among hundreds of other entries. You want to be precise and evocative. Find something similar to one of the examples we provided below. It isn't necessary, but you can add subtitles. I'll title my picture, Bosco, the Quarantine Companion Dog, which works for now. You can contact curators to change elements of your submission later. Next, we need to describe the image. There are no fixed requirements for writing a description. Include as much or as little information as you feel helps the viewer understand your work. Keep in mind that this will be visible to the public, so skim your description for any grammatical errors. I only want to convey a small amount of information, so I'll put something like there we go. Just a nice brief way of describing this picture to the public, and that'll do it. If you're posting an interview or manuscript and want to add a transcription, don't add it here. There's a separate field for this information. You should email it directly to BCC curators. Next, we arrive at the document's type. Consider the genre, style, or medium of the thing you're uploading. If it's a painting, is it a watercolor painting? Is the work itself digital or analog? My photo is digital, so I will classify it as a digital photograph. This prompt should only be answered with 1 to 3 words at most. This is a straightforward part of our submission form. We're looking for a list of creators associated with the document. Again, you don't necessarily have to be the creator to select either of these options. If you know there was one person involved, then choose I am the sole creator. If there were multiple, choose the second option. Creators are responsible for putting together the document. This means you do not need to assign interviewees, subjects, or contributors with creator status. Instead, please email us a list of names and titles that you would like attributed to your submission, and we can include them after the fact. I'll choose the first option as I'm the one who took the photograph. However, it is important if you choose I have co-creators to have them fill out their own Share Your Story form. Do not worry about duplicates, we only need them to properly credit each individual. Following this, we want you to list the creator's name. As detailed here, if the creator is anonymous or unknown, leave this field blank. The same goes for the co-creator's prompt. List out their names if applicable, otherwise leave it blank. If you plan on submitting multiple documents, ensure your name and the names of your co-creators are spelled consistently across each submission. I'll just put my name here, and we can proceed. Here is where we can finally upload our document. It is important to note that our submission form can only handle small files like images, text, and short-form audio-video. If your file is beyond our size limit, you will need to send it to us directly. The form will not process files above 250 megabytes. An easy workaround for such files would be to upload them to Dropbox and then email us the share link. You can find guides detailing this process on the BCC Archives website, linked to in this video's description. My photograph is much less than 250 megabytes, so I will upload it this way. URL links are only necessary if you pulled your document from the internet. My photograph was taken on my phone, so I won't include a URL. You should include this field if it is applicable. This is especially the case if you are copying someone else's work on social media, for instance, as it will cite and credit the original author. We include instructions if you aren't sure how to find a document's URL. Usually it consists of finding the work on your browser, copying the domain information, and then pasting it into the correct field. But for now, I'll just leave this blank. We now arrive at tagging your document. Anyone who has an Instagram or Twitter will be familiar with the use of hashtags. However, do not include the hash mark when filling out this field. Try to think of around 8 keywords. These are words users might type into a search bar to look for your document. For instance, if I wanted to appear in someone's search of quarantine pets, I might write pets and quarantine pets, dog, maybe companion, companionship, family pet, and parenting, why not? Tags should all be lowercase and separated by commas, except for proper nouns. I'll add Brooklyn in this case, and that's 8. Our curators will assign tags to your document, so feel free to get creative with your own. The next prompts require much less creativity. For the associated date, you should enter when your document was created. If you aren't the creator, you can put down when you first discovered it. If you don't remember that date either, then try your best to guess. I know this photograph was taken in 2020 towards the middle of the year. I'm not exactly sure what the day was, but this works for now. If you have an exact time and feel is relevant to your work, you can click this button. It always helps curators to provide as much information as possible. As for your affiliation with BCC, simply include your relation to the college, whether you are a student, alumni, faculty member, etc. I'm an archives intern, but feel free to go into detail, as you can see in our examples. The next prompt is asking for the specific class or professor that assigned you this project. If this is a personal project, or if you are submitting someone else's work, then only include the semester in which it was created. Mine is summer 2020. Now onto the map. You can click the magnifying glass button and enter a location relevant to your document. This can either be the location it was created at or the location it describes. If you drew a picture of the Eiffel Tower while in Queens, you can pick whether your work relates to Queens or to Paris. If you would prefer not to provide a location, then simply type in Bronx Community College's campus and place your pin there. The next prompt is our submission agreement. You can review its terms at the top of our webpage. All you need to do is click the drop-down menu and select I agree. Creative Commons does not give us the right to profit off your work, but it does give us the right to share it to the public. And finally, we arrive at the last few prompts. They will allow curators to reach out to you should we have any questions about your document. We will only contact you for follow-up information and for no other reason. Your name will appear as the document's contributor, but your email will never be visible to the public. You also have the ability to hide your name by selecting the I want to submit anonymously box. As I mentioned in the creator's prompt, if you plan on submitting multiple documents, then please use the same name across each submission. I will enter my name again as Alexander Reddy and use a dummy email for privacy concerns. You are also able to email yourself a transcript of your completed submission form. If you forget to check the box, you can ask curators to show you your submission. And that about wraps it up. Hit the verification box and submit the form. After a few minutes, your document will appear to curators, but will not yet be visible to the public. Before we post your work to our collections page, we may ask you to provide missing information such as contributor details and transcripts, as is the case with interview documentaries. Once finalized, your document will appear amongst the others. It will be viewable much like my sample upload. This is not the same document that I started with, but it gives you an idea of what the public will be interacting with. If you need more information about the description and submission process, then visit a Journal to Play Gears landing page on the BCC Archives website. We will link to it along with our other resources. You can read through our documentation and contact archive staff to answer your questions. I hope this walkthrough has helped you, and we look forward to hearing your story.